welcome back to CHGO White Sox Postgame after a 6-5 winner over the Tampa Bay Rays. My name is Herb Lawrence, and actually, CHGO White Sox Postgame is presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets for up to $2,000. My name is Herb Lawrence. Actonwall23 on the Twitter machine is how you follow me there. Over there is our White Sox beat reporter, Vinnie Duber, at Vinnie Duber on Twitter for him, and our guy behind the camera. You can't see him. You'll hear him from time to time. We call him the voice of God. It is Stephen Nicholas. You can't follow him on Twitter because he doesn't tweet. What a jerk. But the White Sox, score 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and then they're like, yeah, let's chill out right there. That should be enough. It was. They were right. They win 6-5. Giving Lucas Giolito another victory, and the White Sox finally 25-27. Vinny, how you feeling after that victory?
I mean, I feel fine. I'm curious as to how you're feeling because you had the noise that you made introducing a win was very similar to the noise you make when you introduce a loss. So I'm curious to figure out exactly how you're holding up after that one.
Like, after 6 runs, I was like, let's effing go. We're doing things. Finally, we're going to get a laugher against these people. We're going to be going on to the Dodgers, coming back home and feeling good about ourselves. The White Sox decide to never score again and give Lucas no support. And then Lucas, in the 5th and 6th inning, gives up a couple runs. Luckily for him, and for his own ERA, only 2 of them were earned. But yeah, it's just, this season is just so hard. Even wins are tough. But hey, as Meatloaf said, dearly departed Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll take that every time. And winning the season series versus Tampa Bay, who is a tough team, this is the type of thing, just remember how you felt, who are out there who are watching us on YouTube or listening here on the podcast. Remember how you felt after that Friday loss to the Tampa Bay Rays. You have 4 losses in a row to AL East teams. You didn't play well in most of those games. And you're looking at the next 2 days. You're like, they can get swept in Tampa. And then they do the same thing they did in New York. Lose the Friday game, win the next 2 games, come out with 2 out of 3. That is the message that should be White Sox fans should be feeling. Results right now, and I know I'm process over results guy, but the results are what we need to see. Sometimes you need to see the ball going through the hoop, and a left column being checked off feels much better than the right column being checked off. So 25-27, not ideal, but the White Sox are playing much better than they did before they got into this predicament in Tampa Bay. So I'll take it. Hell, I'll take any victory, winning ugly. And I know people have been comparing this team to the 83 team because they have similar records, courtesy of Jay Kuda. We don't have the actual graphic here, but he said they, at certain points of the season so far, they have the same record as the 83 White Sox, who famously started off slow and then reeled off a bunch of wins to finish with 99 victories and then eventually lose to the Baltimore Orioles in the playoffs. I'll take that right now. Hell, if the White Sox can find a way to win a bunch of games in a row, and the managers are the same, so I feel great. Let's get to the game. Let's get to this.
Herb, take a breath. It's okay.
Oh, God, it's so frustrating. We started off the game so well, and Vinny, there's 15 batters that batted for the White Sox in the first 2 innings. Want to take a guess of how many of those batters took the first pitch? 15 batters. How many took the first pitch of those at-bats?
Most of them, I would say.
Yes, it was most of them. 14 out of 15 took the first pitch of those at-bats. So that's how you get success. We start the game off with Danny Mendick leading off, gets a single. Then Vaughn hits that ground rule double. You see these 2 guys setting the table up right. And then Luis Robert was struggling that first at-bat, popped it up to second base. You're like, oh, here we go again. Jose Abreu loads up the bases, and you're like, no, don't load up the bases. That's our kryptonite. But no, Jake Berger is not about that life. A double there, scores 2. Then we get the check swing single by Grandal, scores 2 more. And I'm like, let's go! Finally, 4 runs in the first inning. This game is cash. We got this in the bag. That bum, Urian Yarbrough ain't nothing. What did you see in that first inning that gave you kind of some hope or just something different from the White Sox offense approach right there, Vinny?
We talked about it in the pregame. Maybe that Jake Berger home run yesterday would be that spark, that moment that they needed to kind of get these bats back to where they are expected to be. And then First chance they get today, we saw it in action. Stringing hits together, getting base runners together, stringing extra base hits together. I mean, this is the kind of team this is the kind of lineup that you thought you were going to get when you looked at that White Sox roster at the start of the season. Now, after the second inning, they kind of reverted to what they've been doing here, but a lot of hits today, and to go along with what I was just saying. I mean, to string some of those together, to put up a crooked number, that's the kind of thing that this offense is capable of. That's the kind of thing this offense should be doing. And, we've all gotten so used to what we've seen here over the first 2 months that, that first inning is going on and everybody's eyes are popping out of their head. Oh, my God, the White Sox are doing this. This is kind of supposed to be the norm, right? This is kind of normal for this team, or at least it should be. So it was more like you expected. I wrote on Friday about how they are playing nowhere near close to their expectations,
exactly
what they were at the beginning of the year, and here you go. That is expectation, that first inning right there.
And our guy Paul and I should do this, and he asked, where's Sean W. Anderson at? And we should have announced that Sean is on assignment up in Lake Geneva, having a little R&R. He took a picture next to a sign that said Swamp Angel, and that's what his name is now. The new... Then when Sean comes back on Tuesday for the Dodgers-White Sox series, the Swamp Angel will be in this seat, I'll be in that seat, and Vinnie will be back at the ballpark. So, yes, Swamp Angel is back in the house.
Same initials, too.
Oh, wow. I did not even notice that.
I think Sean's actually at the Jose Abreu hater meeting right now. I
They
think
meet
that's
in Lake
why he can't be
Geneva,
here
huh?
right now. Yeah, that's where they hold those meetings.
Every Sunday? That's a weird thing. God, Lake Geneva. What a bunch of haters. Let's see. Yes, and Steve, I'll get to the CHGO tailgate because you guys will all be there. That's June 22nd. I'll get to that in a little bit. But in that second inning, Vinny, we saw a little bit more. As I said, 14 of the first 15 batters took the first pitch, as did Josh Harrison when he doubled to right and then then got to third. He was high-stepping all the way to third base. I was like, all right, Josh Harrison getting hits and then high-stepping to third, something's going right. Then Vaughn with a deep, deep drive, and he doubled again, scoring Harrison. Robert gets into the hitting and scores Vaughn. And so we're like 6-0 in the second inning. We got our ace on the bump. This shit is cashed. We're over. But, of course, we can't have anything nice here. We cannot have a thing nice. Vaughn, in the fifth inning, you get Lucas Giolito struggling a little bit, and I see people on Twitter talking about Tony was falling asleep. Tony should have pulled him after the fifth because he struggled, because he gave up the Paredes home run. I was fine. I think he was at like 78, 79 pitches, ending that fifth inning. Ended it off with a Manuel Margot double play. So I'm like, all right, he's strong. He's inducing weak contact to get out of that inning. In the sixth inning, I did not feel like he needed to leave the game to start the inning. What did you feel like, Vinny?
Yeah, he's the ace, right? The whole thing that Lucas Giolito's evolution taught us was that he can handle this stuff. He can make these changes in start. He can make the corrections that he needs to. He can settle down when things start to snowball on him. That was one pitch and one run.
Yeah.
It's not like he was out there falling apart and getting knocked around. Obviously things didn't go so hot there in the sixth, but I don't even have a problem with, leaving him in to complete that inning, because here's the thing. He's your ace. You got to trust him to get it done, and I understand the whole observational analytics thing that Tony likes to use. Keep an eye on a guy and see how he's doing, and that'll tell you everything. And maybe Lucas wasn't, the same guy that we're used to seeing in that inning, but I don't think, it's easy to say when they win, right? And if they would have lost, if they would have given up a sixth run there and tied the game, watched that lead go completely by the boards, everybody would be freaking out. And, I understand that, but again, this is Lucas Giolito. You got to trust the guy to get an out.
Yeah, for his part, he gave up 10 hard-hit balls, but for the most part, Lucas was in control. I'll get to his final line in a second. In that sixth inning, you got the Ramirez sacrifice fly. Well, before that, you had the air. Oh, my goodness. Easy ball hit to Danny Mendick. He throws a ball. It's slightly low, but it's in the air, probably a foot off the ground, and we have Yasmani Grandal butch the ball again. It's like, can we have a first baseman who can catch? And when he's back there behind the plate, sometimes he gets lackadaisical and doesn't catch the ball that is thrown right to him. I didn't mind him being at first because it gives Jose Abreu a day off, but everybody's saying, hey, Tony, why don't you have that right fielder out there who's hitting the ball with authority play first base, which is his natural position. I necessarily didn't have a problem with him being in the lineup. If you're not going to catch the ball at first, yes, I have a problem with that. That opened up the inning for Lucas Giolito to give up a bunch of runs. You got the Ramirez sacrifice fly. Rosareno hit the ball really hard to right field, bounced off the right field wall and went back to center. A little trouble for Andrew Vaughn, who was not a natural right fielder, to catch that ball. But any natural right fielder probably would have had a really hard time to catch that ball.
A.J. Pollock's not catching that ball.
Exactly. Yeah. The best right fielder is not catching the ball. Well, we're going to see him on Tuesday. His name is Marcus Lynn Betts. You go by Mookie. So he wouldn't even caught that ball. It was a rocket and was hit tailing away from him. And then, of course, Zunino hits that 2-run home run to make the score 6-5 was where we ended. That inning, did you see anything from Lucas as far as tiring or just leaving balls over the plate?
I mean, yeah, he probably was running out of gas. I mean, I don't think it takes a major league pitching coach to tell you that, right? But at the same time, you got to let him finish that outing. I think, it's easy for me to say I'm not a manager, but yeah, he was getting hit in that inning, and it nearly cost them the game. But listen, baseball is like that some ways and sometimes, and all you got to do is win by 1 run, and that's what the Sox did today.
Did you have any problem with Grandal playing first base, sans the error that he eventually made? Did you have any problem with that playing first base?
Not really. Yeah. I mean, if you have a problem with Grandal playing first base, you had a problem with it back in March. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I know that he made the error, and it was bad. It looked horrible, and eventually people were complaining that they took out Andrew Vaughn in the 8th inning to replace him with Adam Engel, and they were like, why don't you have Vaughn replace Grandal? You can't there because if Reese McGuire gets hurt in that last couple innings or if they go into extra innings, you don't have a catcher there, and then you got to go to who's their emergency backup catcher?
Danny Mendick is their emergency catcher.
The man does it all. The man does it all. I thought Lurie might have been too.
I mean, Larry can do it all, but I've actually never heard of Larry being the emergency catcher. Mendick I've heard being the emergency catcher, but obviously Mendick hasn't been on the roster the entire season, so there are times where they must have had somebody be an emergency catcher, and it would not surprise me if it was Larry Garcia, given his versatility all over the field.
Then you get quality effort from your 3 guys at the beginning of the year. You're like, man, our bullpen is solidified. We have the people. You get Bummer in the 7th. He pretty much only gives up a single to Diaz and then immediately picks him off. Then, and a surprise move for me, because he pitched 24 pitches yesterday, Saturday, and didn't pitch effectively, even though the results were good. Kendall Graveman comes out for the 8th. That shows me a lot. Firstly, because he probably asked for it, because we saw different people get up. We saw Liam Hendriks get up early in the 7th just to throw the ball around. We saw Reynaldo Lopez, who hasn't pitched since Thursday, where he pitched an inning where he gave up 4 runs and didn't get anybody out. So I was like, okay, Raylo would be good there, or maybe Matt Foster, who hasn't pitched since Friday. But seeing Kendall Graveman go out there, and not only go out there, dominate the Rays. He looked filthy. What'd you see from Kendall Graveman?
I mean, this is the guy they gave that big contract to, right? This is what they wanted their bullpen to look like when they made it up back in spring training. Aaron Bummer, Kendall Graveman, Liam Hendriks, door slammed. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more, especially in the 8th and 9th inning, and Bummer was fine. He gave up, I think, 1 base runner, but Wayne's been calling out the bullpen ever since the show started, so we got to give him props. Yeah, the bullpen was great. I mean, it's a 1-run game. That's what the bullpen's got to do, and this sort of thing here. This is what they envision for if they're fortunate enough to make the postseason. That's a postseason kind of relief performance right there. You throw 3 guys out there, and they just do the job completely. Kendall Graveman was shaky yesterday, 2 hits and a walk in that 8th inning in a 1-run game yesterday. Mm-hmm. Barely got out of it because Danny Mendick was able to make a good play on a kind of a softly hit grounder. But today, not even going to take that chance. Strikes out all 3 guys he faces, and he'll be lifting the hammer today.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. What's it called again, Vinnie?
That's Mjolnir. That's Thor's hammer, of course, made of enchanted Uru metal. Yeah.
And that is a thing that the White Sox relief corps does for a guy who strikes out 3 batters in a row. That is good for Kendall Graveman. And then Liam Hendriks. It's been awesome. It was awesome on Saturday. And then today, same thing. Popped out, struck out, and flied out to end the game 6-5. The White Sox win 2 out of 3 from the Rays, win the season series 4 out of 6. It is a great thing to see. We are very, very, very happy to see the White Sox not playing the best baseball, because we saw the things that make the White Sox so frustrating, the lack of runs after getting up big, the not throat stomping as they usually said they would be doing last year with Lucas Giolito and Tim Anderson saying, once we get up big, we should be keep on pressing down. And our producer, Steven Nicholas, asked me in I think it was the 3rd inning, he's like, do you mind stealing right there up 6? I was like, no, I don't mind. I don't mind stealing up 6 in the 9th inning. Do what you need to do to get a victory, because you see there's no clock in baseball. The other team can come back anytime they want to, so it's frustrating that they didn't score more runs, but a win is a win is a win, so we got to take it as we have it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But here's the thing. You just said the phrase, it's frustrating they didn't score more runs.
Yes.
They scored 6 runs today.
Yes.
White Sox had scored 3 runs in each of their last 4 games, bringing their run scoring average down from where it was, which was already pretty low. They get 6 runs in a game. White Sox fans should be happy, because that is something that they have done very rarely this year. And to score 6 runs in a game and win is an even rarer thing for them. So,
and another real weird thing versus the Rays, they scored 3 runs each of the first 3 games they played them in Chicago, and in this series, same thing except for the explosion we got of 6 runs. The White Sox are ready to play. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker room. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker. All for making a first-time $50 or more deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, email PointsBet at pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting, and it just got better. Introducing PointsBet's new feature, Live NBA Same Game Parlay. For the first time ever, you can build your live NBA Same Game Parlay only at PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. Want more? You can also boost your live Same Game Parlays. Watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. And now, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Steven, let's go to the pitching lines for both of the pitchers. Man. Lucas Giolito, 6 innings pitched, 5 runs. Only 2 of those are earned because of the Grandal error at first base. 8 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And the White Sox absolutely tagged Ryan Yarbrough. Made him walk the plank. Matey, 1 2/3, 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Soft toss and lefty, please bring them to us all the time. What'd you see from these 2 starting pitchers, Vinnie? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. You know, you asked me about the guys taking the first pitch and stuff like that. What have we kind of heard from Tony La Russa so often this year, where they have an offensive strategy, right, and it's just not really lining up with what happens in the game, right? Like they go in, they want to be aggressive, but they swing and they at a ball out of the zone, and all of a sudden it's in a pitcher's count.
Yep.
They want to be patient, and a guy's throwing strikes, and all of a sudden it's in a pitcher's count. No matter what they've tried, it seems like their bats have been already kind of at a disadvantage from go. Today, it worked. It lined up. Whether they were trying to be extra patient, whether they knew what they were looking for from Yarbrough, whether they were doing what they're supposed to be doing, what Frank Menachino always says, and waiting for their pitch, looking for their pitch and an at bat. It worked, and it all lined up today. It's happened so few times throughout this season, throughout the first 2 months of the season, but this is a team that we know can jump on pitchers like this. They did it today. It finally worked. You'd like to see them get it to work consistently. Getting the Dodgers coming to town maybe is not the best recipe for trying to do that, but if they can figure it out, if they can thread that needle, then this will be a much different looking team than it's been through the first 2 months.
And with Lucas Giolito, let's check out his pitch mix, if we could, Steven. There it is. He threw 50% of his balls were four-seam fastballs. 29% were sliders, 20% changeups, and only one curveball. And you see there, as Sean likes to point out, the called strikes plus whiff percentage were high on the fastball. At 29 is the league average. He was at 35% on called strikes and whiffs, but all the rest were just getting hit or he wasn't locating them correctly. His slider usually is solid. They put 14 of his sliders, the 32 pitches that he threw, 14 of his sliders in play, and that's not very Lucas-like. Only 3 strikeouts for Lucas today. I'm not concerned because he played versus 2 tough teams in the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays, but is there anything that you see in today's performance or the performance versus Toronto that should be alarming for us as White Sox fans, Vinnie?
I don't think so. We've talked about Lucas getting up for good teams and good big games and how well he pitched in St. Pete last year. And so, when you say the rough performances or the subpar performances have come against other good teams, it's kind of unlike him, and that's not really a great thing. But this is a guy who's an ace, and I think one of the commenters, other Sean, mentioned it. He battled. He got through 6 innings. He only gave up 2 earned runs. I mean, that's a guy who can help you. That's a guy putting his team in a chance to win the game. So you like to see that stuff from Gio. The starting pitching in general has been interesting the last week or so. I mean, you've got 2 of these games now with Giolito. Obviously, again, as we mentioned, not all the runs he gave up today were earned, but a few in recent vintage from Dylan Cease, including the one yesterday where he walked 7 guys. That's another one where he gave up some runs, none of them earned. And then Kopech's tough one in Toronto earlier in the week as well. So that's not what you want to see because this is a team that has been carried by its starting pitching.
Yes.
It's a team that, even if the bats do turn around, you're going to need that starting pitching to be good to keep them going, to perform in a playoff series, perhaps, should the White Sox turn it around significantly enough. So you can't have that slip then, because then we're talking about if one goes up and the other comes down, they're still in the same spot, right? You need them to balance out the hitting and the pitching. So the pitching needs to stay good. We saw how the positive effect that had throughout last season, the positive effect it's had in the first 2 months this season. You're getting Lance Lynn back, and that 4 starting pitcher rotation right there sounds pretty damn good for a playoff series with Giolito, Cease, Kopech, and Lynn. Mm-hmm. You can't have them slip, and I understand it's one week. And I said this to you in the pregame. It shouldn't be middling against good teams that makes you happy. The White Sox want to be the best team in baseball. They're going to have to beat these teams. They don't have to beat them in June. They don't have to beat them in any other month but October. That's the one that counts. But if you're going to spend the whole season and go, oh well, they were okay against good teams. At least they beat up on the bad ones. They need to beat up on all of them if they're going to do what they said they did or that said they wanted to do, which is win the World Series.
And speaking of that, Greg Miller says season series versus Yankees, Boston, and Tampa Bay, 11-8. I'll take it. That's what you need to do versus these upper echelon AL teams. Now, take care of your business in the AL Central versus lesser teams. Take care of them big time, because that is what's going to get you into the playoffs by beating the AL Central teams. Right now, the Twins, I think they won again today, so the White Sox do not gain any ground. They're 5 games behind the Minnesota Twins, the weird-ass Minnesota Twins, Steven. Minnesota! I don't know if we have those stuff anymore yet, but 11.
You just got to give them a little bit for heads up. You got to build up to that.
Oh yeah, there he said. There we go. We got it. We're back. 11-8 is really good versus those 3 teams. Jesus Shuttlesworth said yes, and like you said, while Lucas wasn't his best, he got through. He battled through without his best stuff. 3 strikeouts is not what Lucas does. You guys all know that out there. And this team, the Devil Rays, or the Rays now, are a team that are...
Wow,
sorry,
the Devil Rays.
I'm going way back. way back.
You got
Once they dropped the
right,
Devil, they started
Devil
winning.
Rays.
Yeah, right, exactly. You're having no problem with Guardians, but now you're slipping into Devil Rays.
Yeah, once they dropped the Devil, seriously, they started winning that. That was good to do. But this is the type of thing you have to do. You have to beat good teams. As you said, Vinny, they're see themselves as an upper echelon American League team, and when you beat upper echelon American League teams 11-8 to the tune of 11-8, that feels good. It probably instills confidence in the team. And I know Rick Hahn said a series in May versus the Yankees really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and he's right. But I'm sure those players are like, man, it feels good to beat teams that we're supposed to be battling against in the playoffs and showing them that we're not like last year when we lost a bunch versus the Yankees. We lost all but one versus the Yankees, and we lost a bunch versus the Astros. That has to feel good for those players.
I mean, yeah, I think and like I said, the way they've been playing, winning period is what feels good right now. And I don't think they matter. I don't think they care who it's coming against. Certainly some probably, cherry on top of the sundae if it comes against a good team. They will probably take great pride in beating a Dodgers team that has proven to be baseball's best, or one of them, for the last however many years, however many you can count. So it's going to be a big series this week. They will be extraordinarily pleased to be riding a winning streak into that series, which is something they have not been able to do too often this year.
And what helped the White Sox is those hits that we had early in the game, the 2 innings we had from the White Sox offense, led by Danny Mendick. Now, in the pregame, we were discussing when Tim Anderson comes back, will Danny Mendick be in that mix for second base? I see it now that there's no doubt he has to be, if not designated the starter when Tim Anderson comes back, giving most of the starts to Danny Mendick. What say you, Vinnie?
It's been a good week for Danny Mendick. Let's see if it's going to end up being a good 3 weeks for Danny Mendick. I think right now, you're right. If you know what I mean. If TA came back tomorrow, it's a no-brainer. Put Mendick out there. He's getting hits. You need hits. You need runs. Put out the guy with the hot bat. Josh Harrison has struggled mightily, though we saw him, with a double and another hit today too. That being said, I think you've got to wait and see, right? Because it is such a small sample size with Mendick so far. Again, you shouldn't ignore it because this team needs runs, needs producers. But when TA comes back, if Mendick is still the hot bat, absolutely put him out there at second base. That would be the no-brainer move. But he's got to keep it up and. Keeping it up while TA is hurt, by the way, that's the kind of fill-in performance that the White Sox got all year last year from your Brian Goodwins and your Jake Lambs and your Yermin Mercedes. They need them this year. They haven't been getting them to this point. If Mendick can be a guy that does that, if Jake Berger can be a guy that does that, then you're looking at a team that won all those games last year, a team that's very capable of winning the Central and having a much better regular season than they've had through the first 2 months.
And hitter Billy Hamilton, too, who's available, too.
Billy the hitter.
He took a free agency instead of going back to the Mariners minor league. And there's another pressing issue, Vinny. I hate to address it because I love Yoan Moncada. He's my man's. And he starts for me when he's right. Tuesday versus the Dodgers, Wednesday, Thursday, Yoan Moncada at third base. But we've been seeing good performances lately from Jake Berger today. 2 for 5, 2 doubles, drives in a run, and drives in a run and scores 2 more. Is there a debate here with Jake Berger versus Yoan Moncada? Usually wouldn't be because Yoan Moncada would, even if hurt, would still be up in average and on base percentage. But this year, Yoan is struggling. And it's only 19 games for Yoan, so he's going to get right eventually. But a team that is struggling like this might be pressing. So what say you about the Yoan Moncada and Jake Berger debate?
I don't think the debate is should Moncada be benched. I think the debate is how do the White Sox get Jake Berger more at-bats right now. And I think that you can do it in a number of ways. Moncada might not be healthy. He might need a little bit extra rest. Good thing you got Jake Berger out there swinging a clutch bat. Yoan Moncada, is a guy who is a cornerstone of this team moving forward. He got one of those contract extensions. He is your starting third baseman, and he's still playing a whale of a defensive third base, too. You got to remember that. Obviously, the numbers are bad. They are very, very bad. Jake Berger has been coming through. You got to get Jake Berger more at-bats. There are other places in this lineup where players have not put up the numbers, and I think the DH spot is going to be a perfect opportunity for Jake to get some more at-bats. That being said, a day off here and there for Yoan Moncada is not out of the question, not just because of the production or the lack thereof, but because of the health issues. Obviously, he spent a long time on the IL with an oblique, missed several games with that quad issue. If he's not fully over that yet, we saw him not play today, obviously. I would imagine it was for that reason. Get him a day off today, a day off tomorrow, and have him be ready to go next week for the Dodgers. But I don't think we're anywhere near the point where it's like Jake Berger is now the everyday third baseman over Yoan Moncada. what you want Berger to be able to do is exactly what he did yesterday. Come off the bench in a big moment and hit a big home run and deliver. Yoán Moncada is still going to play a lot because they want him to get out of this funk. And reps might be the way to do that. Playing him as often as possible, as frustrating as it might be to watch, might be the answer. And I think they'll try everything to get him out of this funk, whether it's resting him more or playing him more. Jake Berger, though, has proved over the last week or two that he deserves to get some more playing time, and he's made the most of his opportunity, absolutely. I think you'd see maybe him get a lot more of those opportunities that a guy like Gavin Sheets was getting during the first 2 months of the season. Obviously, they're two different hands of batter, and the matchups dictate certain things, but Sheets has not really turned it on at all. Berger is making the most of his opportunity.
Let's go through the rest of the lineup. We have my click to pick, 3 for 5. It's Andrew Vaughn.
You won this one in a runaway, Herb.
I planted my flag and said he is the best hitter on the White Sox, including Timothy Devon Anderson Jr.
That's not correct.
He disagrees. He disagrees with that. And, if I saw Timmy a little bit more, I wouldn't be disrespecting the man like that too blatantly. But Andrew Vaughn hits everything he sees. And I don't know if we have that graphic of that at bat he had versus Yarbrough, but just amazing at bat. It must feel really good to know that this pitcher across from you cannot throw anything past you, and whatever he throws, and he thinks he's throwing his filthy slider, and you're just like, flip that out, and then eventually in his 11th pitch at bat, he lines a double into the left center field gap over the wall. It's just good to have a hitter like this who understands what pitchers are throwing to him, and he did this versus Kevin Gausman. Like his first at bat, hit the home run, and then had like a 11-12 at bat, pitch at bat the next time, and got a hit or got a walk the next time. This guy understands the art of hitting, and he does not get fooled multiple times. It's kind of like what Jose Abreu did in his rookie year and onward, where you can get him early, but he'll learn from that mistake and then hurt you later on. I feel he's the best hitter because of that. Tim is just a natural athlete, just a freak that can hit the ball and let the ball get deep and then still hit it with power from the right side and then hit it to right field. I think Andrew Vaughn's a little bit better as far as doubles, home runs, average, all that stuff. Eventually, Andrew Vaughn will be the best hitter for the White Sox, and I think it'll be a runaway. I know you say Tim Anderson. Why
it'll
you say
be
Tim
a runaway?
I just think
a runaway.
He is this is his really first taste of baseball as a starter, and he's doing things that a young player shouldn't be doing. He's only 24, and he's taking these pitchers and he's playing with them. He's letting them play his game, and it's not the opposite. It's just so impressive to see him. He had 3 hard hit balls today, and he does it versus the top pitchers in the league. You saw the Gausman at bats. You saw the bats versus Manoah, and this one versus Ryan Yarbrough. He crushed him.
Listen, he's very good at this. There's a reason they took him with such a high pick in the draft. They've been saying it since that night that they took him with that pick in the draft, that this guy is a hitter like this. And we heard, I was able to talk to Jim Thome about Andrew Vaughn last year, and Jim Thome was raving, and, he knows a thing or two about hitting a baseball. There's a reason that he has been so touted coming up. There's a reason they were comfortable with him going to the major leagues without seeing any pitching from AA or AAA. There's a reason that last spring, before he'd played a major league game, they were talking to him about him being an everyday player. There's a reason that this guy will never be traded for anyone on the Oakland A's. This is a guy that they envision as being part of the middle of their lineup for a very long time. You are seeing exactly why they've thought about this. Not just this year. This isn't a new thought for the White Sox. Mm-hmm. They've known this kid now for several years, and they've known that this was coming. Certainly they hoped that this was coming. But, as good as he's been, come on,
Timmy,
to be the best hitter on the team. You seen Tim Anderson hit?
I've seen him hit.
He's batting .356.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. He can bat for average, but I like Andrew Vaughn's complete hitter profile, where he can bat for average and he can hit the ball over the plate, over the fence a couple of times. Timmy has 5 home runs. Andrew has the same amount and more doubles and less at bats. So I just think that Andrew Vaughn is the better hitter slightly. It's a good argument to have. And at the end of the year, I think it's going to be obvious that Andrew Vaughn is the best. And our guy, Mailman Jack, asked you, what kind of shoes is Vinnie rocking today? They look pretty fire.
There they are. Some new Nikes. I got some new Nikes. I finally went on. I know you could have done this for years. This is not news to anybody, but you can go on there and make your own. You can pick all the colors and everything.
You can?
Yeah. You can
I just got regular ass black Nikes.
Yeah. So you can go onto the website and you can pick your shoe and pick what every color is. So I went with purple. I believe it's called Wildberry on the Nike website, but which, by the way, that was my Pop-Tart flavor of choice back in the day.
I actually think that's the flavor that Herb's drinking over there in his Truly. What is that?
Oh, it's Truly garbage. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Raspberry lime. It's nice and mediocre and sorry. It's Truly
It's Truly a sponsor?
It's Truly a sponsor over there?
We're still working on that today.
Okay. All right. Sorry. It's delicious. I was going to have it earlier in the game, but I forgot about it. And then I got a drink over at the West Loop Market. So it was just a regular energy drink. So I've just have this in my hand, and I haven't drank it yet. So
what was your go-to Pop-Tart flavor back in the day, Herb?
I'm average. I just like strawberry frosted. That's
fine. That's a good one.
Yeah. Like I don't know why people like the brown sugar.
The dessert ones.
Brown
sugar. Well, brown sugar was okay.
Yeah, I don't. Do you have to have it toasted?
Any Pop-Tart?
Yes.
So we used to microwave them.
Ooh, wow.
We didn't toast them.
So
we used to microwave them back in the day. Yeah, usually, you go, between 10 and 15. Yeah, usually like 12, somewhere in there would work. Steven, Pop-Tart flavor of choice?
I'm also like Herb. I go with the strawberry. The brown sugar, I thought was terrible.
Me too.
It's not terrible. It's fine.
That's the garbage one that you give to your friends when they come over. Like, oh, I need to get rid of this one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a big brown sugar one was not good.
It's our guy Jaxo23. $20 super chat. The Dodgers series on national TV Tuesday and Thursday. I'm also expecting this offense to continue hitting against the Dodgers, and we need to beat those Houston Astros. I agree, Jaxo, and thank you for your $20 super chat. And to get back, yes, I 100% they need to beat the Dodgers, and Sean thinks they're weak. Sean Anderson, the Swamp Angel, before he left, said the Dodgers are weak. They suck. They're not that good. And while we were saying that, Vinnie and I were looking at them crazy. Like, the Dodgers is one of the best teams in the league. They were getting swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the worst teams in the league. So it's possible the White Sox could win this series versus the Dodgers, but I'm not putting my eggs in that basket quite yet. And to get back to the Pop-Tart thing, it's a weird thing about Pop-Tarts or Pop-Tarts and cookies, I have to have some milk with it. Like, if I have Pop-Tarts and I do not have milk, like it's a experience that is ruined. I'll enjoy the Pop-Tart, but I'm like, would have been better with some milk. And that's the problem, though. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, I see. So now you're Pop-Tart intolerant because of it. By association.
I just got to get like oat milk or almond milk, which is fine, but it's nothing like cow's milk. I used to love cow's milk. I used to drink whole gallons of it. If you guys remember me from the score, we had a contest where I almost drank a whole gallon of milk, and Rock Momoa did not, and he threw up. And it's disgusting. Don't do that at home, kids.
That sounds disgusting.
It is one of the worst things you can ever do. I love milk as much as the next guy, but you cannot drink a gallon of milk. I'm not challenging you to do that. You'll pay for it. And maybe that's why I'm lactose intolerant, because I took a milk down for like 30 minutes, and my stomach's like, you're a jerk. I hate you. Now I got to get all this damn milk out of my body.
But that's quite the tale.
Oh, God, it was so... It is. Have you ever drank a whole gallon of milk over there, Steven? You're a guy who can eat a lot of food and drink a lot of drinks. Have you ever taken down a whole gallon of milk?
No, you
in
just
one
throw
sitting?
Up. You
People
up.
have.
Like, I like milk a lot. I drink a lot of milk still. But why would you do such a thing?
It was just a challenge.
You know it's going to make you sick.
We were young at the radio station. It was like a Saturday night, and we're like, we need a gimmick. We're the Morning Zoo radio, but we're on the weekends. We need a gimmick for people to listen to the radio. We did not have any.
I was going to say, this is not a visual medium.
No, we did not have a visual medium like we do right here on CHGO White Sox. We're just drinking milk through he's hosting a show too. I'm just producing the show. So we just drank milk because we're dumb and idiots, and I won, but I didn't drink the whole thing, yes. And the guy said cherry is better than strawberry. Get the hell out of here, Southside Bear.
He admitted that it was trash. A hot take. He admitted it was a hot take.
And I know people are like, oh, what are we talking about Pop-Tarts? Because Pop-Tarts are delicious, guys. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. It is a great show. Let's get back to some actual talking about things. Let's talk about something you can put in your body that is much better than a gallon of milk, and you won't throw up. Yeah, transition. You're not the only one that can do it, Swamp Angel, Sean.
That was a Swamp Angel style segue right there.
You're not the only one that can do it, Swamp Angel. I started taking AG1 because I didn't have time to be healthy. You look at me. I don't know if you're in the podcast, you can't see me, but you know what I look like. I'm a bigger guy, about 290. I wanted to eat something that was a little bit more gut-friendly because, as I said, I'm lactose intolerant. I need to get all that stuff flushed out of my body, and AG1 brought it to me. They're not like a super healthy tasting thing. It was kind of a mild tropical taste that I actually look forward to each morning. What I do is mix up the AG1 in its own bottle. So I put 10 ounces of water in there, the AG1 1 scoop in there, shake it up, make sure it's all mixed together well, and then I make a smoothie and put the AG1 in there. And it's usually a strawberry smoothie. Sometimes I put mangoes in it, but with the AG1, like I said, it's a mild tropical taste. So it tastes delicious. It goes down real smooth, and it doesn't give you like any after effects. It gives you like energy, as I said. I was like, feel like much better after I take an AG1. It's like the way to start out the morning.
I think that's how you wash down your strawberry Pop-Tarts, right?
Hey, man, nowadays I have to. It's what this stuff is. It is, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics for that gut health, and adaptogens to help you start your day off right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. As a 43-year-old, I need that. All the things that are good for your body. Right now is the time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop of water every day, either 8 to 12 ounces. I like 10 because it's a perfect mixture. That's it. No need for a million different pills, no supplements to look out for your health. Right now, to make it easy, AG1 is giving you a free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/CHGO socks. Again, athleticgreens.com/CHGO socks to take ownership of your own health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance. Sorry about that. Now I need to know where I'm going from this. Let's see. It's confusing. This Sean makes this shit like real easy.
Wayne has a good Pop-Tart comment. Pop-Tarts needs to come out with a bourbon flavor.
I'm only drunk in the morning, Wayne.
Well, I don't know if you would be putting alcohol in the Pop-Tarts. I think just the flavor of it.
I'm not a brown liquor kind of guy.
My fiance loves bourbon. She would eat those Pop-Tarts. I need a pina colada Pop-Tart, like a Mai Tai Pop-Tart. Now we're talking. Then we're talking.
You drink it out of a coconut, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about pina colada and that coconut. I still need to go to that place you're talking about. It sounds like a deal. Sounds delicious. I need that 100%. So the White Sox have an off day tomorrow. They'll do nothing and chill out, and then they'll host the LA Dodgers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. What are you looking for the White Sox to do with this weak team, as Sean Anderson calls them? They don't have any of their top pitchers going. I mean, you're missing Clayton Kershaw. You're missing Tight Pants McGee. I forgot his name already. I'm out of energy. I should have taken my AG1 right now. I'm too hyped up about the win and Walker Buehler. Sorry.
Between all the Pop-Tart talk and you making an enemy of Tim Anderson, you've really been flummoxed by this whole experience.
I want Tim Anderson to watch this because we know that Tim Anderson takes slights. Any type of slight. I want to put it out there. Tim, you're not the best hitter on the White Sox at all. In fact, probably like the fourth best hitter. Not even good at all.
Now it's fake. Now it's manufactured.
But yes, they're going against the Dodgers. They're not facing Walker Buehler. They're not facing Clayton Kershaw. What do you see the White Sox doing when they come back home? Will this 2 out of 3 versus the Tampa Bay Rays propel them to play better baseball? Not even the result of beating the Dodgers. Do you think they can just play better baseball from here on out?
It's momentum. Momentum is always a good thing, and they do say in baseball that, momentum goes by the boards pretty quick, depending on who you're going to be facing on the mound. But this White Sox team could use some momentum. They have been without it for a while now, and what did we see earlier in the season when they won those 6 games in a row? They were propelled by a loss. You know what I mean? A game that they eventually lost, but an inning in which they felt like themselves. That 9th inning comeback, near comeback, I should say, against the Angels. So it only takes a little bit to get you going again. Berger hits the home run yesterday. They have the big first few innings today, and then they win today's game on top of it, so they get the happy flight, if you will. You gotta like their chances, kind of as much as you could have coming out of this road trip, certainly at the start of today. So they've got a tough test. The Dodgers are a fantastic baseball team.
Pretty damn good.
It's going to be hard for the White Sox to do, but the White Sox got good pitchers. And Kopech and Cease are both going in this series against LA, and they've got guys who are capable of hitting the way they did today. They've just got to keep it going. They've got to find more innings like they had today, multiple innings each game, because without that, they're back to that 3-point whatever runs a game, and that's not going to cut it, be it against the Dodgers or be it against the Royals. So, this has been a good weekend for them the last 2 days to get them into this Dodgers series. Now they got to keep doing it.
And we see a super chat from Stupid Donkey. Boo, boo, boo. $5. A little up, Steven. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Been busy, so how did our playing like crap White Sox win a series? Didn't play like crap for the most part this series.
Hitting. They got clutch hitting.
Exactly. So, getting off to a 6-0 lead helps you out to win 6-5, especially when the other team scores only 5 runs. That's how you win baseball games. Score more runs than the other team does. I should be a manager.
Herbie LaRussa.
That would be really bad. I would not like that. Neither would you guys. None of you guys would like that. I would be erratic, moving people every day. A lot of punitive moves. Like somebody makes an error, I just pull them out in the middle of the game.
Send them to AAA.
Exactly. Like get the hell out. And the rest of the people are like, what the hell is this guy?
Stealing up 12 runs, too, no doubt.
You better believe I'm stealing up 12 runs.
Guys are getting injured.
No bunting, finding people once they sacrifice bunt. If you bunt for a hit, go ahead, do your thing. If you sacrifice bunt, you're out of the game. Herbie LaRussa would be a terrible, not a Hall of Fame baseball person at all. Fired probably in the first day. So, yes, the White Sox will be taking on the L.A. Dodgers this week here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Are you excited to get back to the ballpark? Because it's been about a week for you.
Been a bit.
Being here, you got to hang out with me and such. The Swamp Angel left us. He's a jerk up there in Lake Geneva having a Jose Abreu haters club meeting. Is it good to be at the ballpark? It's going to be a fantastic day, a fantastic week. It looks like in the 70s each of those days, except for Monday, which is going to rain hard. So we don't even have to worry about that because the White Sox has an off day that day.
Earlier this week, you and I were part of the CHGO podcast, and we talked about summer in Chicago, summer activities in Chicago. The one that didn't come up, and I understand it, was baseball. Was going to the baseball game. And, I get it. We talk about baseball all the time. We were trying to talk about some other stuff, but, nothing happens. Nothing says summer in Chicago like being at the ballpark, whether you're on the north side or the south side. Obviously, everyone watching this show probably prefers one of those over the other, but just being in Chicago at the ballpark, that is summer to me. We're going to get some high temperatures. Good team coming to town. Some eyes will be on the White Sox and the Dodgers. That, to me, is summer, and I'm happy to welcome it. I told you, I said on the pregame show, I had the freeze. I went to the freeze the other day in Logan Square. Mm-hmm. That's some summer right there, standing in line for ice cream. Had some cocktails on the patio. That's summer in Chicago right there. That was last night. Tuesday, going to the ballpark. That's summer in Chicago right there. So, yes, very excited.
Tom Jankowski asked, if I was still the GM, what would I do now? Probably, I said the other day, and I'll still stick by it, the White Sox are going to win this division. They just need to play like they knew they have when they're back of the baseball card. Look at that. That's how they play. Today, winning yesterday was good, even though we only scored 3 runs. I wouldn't do much. Now, I know people want to DFA Josh Harrison and DFA that guy and send Yasmani somewhere else. You think Yasmani is this bad? That's why I said the other day, he's not this bad. Neither is Yoan Moncada. Now, they can get some improvements. Being a better second baseman, I would go with Danny Mendick, but also I've always said, sunlight, you get exposed. If he gets more time to play, is he this? I don't think he's this. Maybe a little bit worse than this, which is better than the 2 options that they've had so far in Lurie Garcia and Josh Harrison, complete game-wise. Those 2, I think, can play a little bit better defense than what Danny Mendick gives you. But with the bat, if you have Mendick at the bottom of the order turning that lineup around, that can contribute to some better bats, can contribute to some more hits and runs. So, yes, I would just have him installed into the lineup a little bit more. But I'm the GM, and so you're saying I'm Rick Hahn. I have no swing in that. That's all Tony La Russa. All I can say is, hey, Tony, maybe you should play Danny Mendick a little bit more. And he did today. He put him up in the top of the lineup. Danny Mendick comes through with the run in the first inning, the hit. So, yes, that's what I would do. Vinny, you want to take a crack at this?
Well, I'll just say this. It's a long season, as we so often remind folks, and Danny Mendick doesn't have to be the starting second baseman from here till the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just the starting second baseman for a few weeks or a month. And that's as much as he can give you in terms of the consistent daily production, side of things. And that's fine. The White Sox need that production. They need those numbers. They'll take it from Danny Mendick, even if it's only for a few weeks. So it's about riding the hot bat. Go ahead and put him in there while he's swinging a hot bat. If he stops, then you might have to go back to the drawing board. But right now, you gotta do what makes you the most successful.
Goddamn Connor Smith. $4.99 super chat. I'm not goddamn in that. Thank you. He's like, this is $5 I wish I'd spent on a Wilson Betemit coloring book at Grandstand. Wilson Betemit, man.
Oh, there's a story behind this.
I mean,
it's not much of a story. It's all in there. But
do you know it?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, please tell it.
So we went to a Sox game, and Betemit played for the Sox in 2009, so that must have been 2009 or 2010, the year after. You've been to Grandstand.
Yes, I have.
You've been to Grandstand on 35th Street. An awful lot of miscellaneous products in there. And among the miscellaneous products that we were able to locate that day was a coloring book of the White Sox. And we're flipping through it, and there is an entire page dedicated to Wilson Betemit. So probably the most random player to ever be featured in a coloring book, but there you go. There you go. So a tremendous reference there by Connor.
A full page.
Full page. I mean, someone should have taken that home. He could color in whatever jersey he happened to be wearing that day. Who knows what it was by the time we stumbled upon that. It probably wasn't a White Sox one anymore. But yeah, there you go. You could color all you want. You could put Wilson Betemit in the old '70s red uniforms if to your heart's content.
It hasn't worked out too tough for White Sox getting former Royals. Maybe I'm missing somebody. Tien was bad.
Wilson Betemit.
The big tall guy, is it Andy Sisco?
Yeah, Andy Sisco. What about Mike McDougal?
Mike McDougal wasn't that great. I mean, let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing the Royal thing. I mean, even if, and answering Stupid Donkey's question.
We got that's another super chat.
Donkey,
another
$10.
siren is necessary.
What second basemen are going to be available at the trade market? Another person, Whit Merrifield, who plays second and right field. Do not get him. He's 1,000. And when he comes here, he's going to be bad, as Cesar Hernandez was of last year. Guess who's available again? Cesar Hernandez is on the Nationals. They're not playing well. I'm sure they would love to trade Cesar Hernandez.
Another Carl Everett style twofer there?
We can give Greg Miller says Joakim Soria. He was terrible here. Just not good.
Here's the thing about
the other reliever who was really good. I can't think of his name.
Kelvin Herrera.
Kelvin Herrera wasn't good as a White Sox. So, yes, at 10, we have no second baseman available really on the trade market right now off the top of my head, Stupid Donkey.
Why are you – I mean, you're right. It's hard to figure this out at this point in the year. But Whit Merrifield is very good.
Yes.
He's going to cost you an arm and a leg because he plays for a division rival. But that being said, I think the greatest – marketing opportunity that you could possibly hope for if you were the White Sox, because all of a sudden you just lop that E off and you're the Chicago Whit Sox.
I mean, I think Brooks has already thought about that.
I'm sure he wrote that up years ago, and every so often he maybe calls Rick up and he's like, "Hey Rick, any movement on the Whit Merrifield front? Because we got this campaign ready to go."
Did he listen to you about the goose?
About the goose? Did Brooks listen to me about the goose?
No.
The goose is gone, so apparently not. If that thing would have shot beer out of its mouth, it'd still be here today. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it would have been a very, very unique thing. And Adam Frazier is up in Seattle. No, I don't think that's going to happen. And he's not going to get traded for Mr. Vaughn, who I famously said, "Oh yeah, trade him away to get Adam Frazier last year." What an idiot! Oh, I wouldn't trade him for most players in the league right now. I think
you wouldn't trade him for Tim Anderson, apparently.
I mean, age-wise, no. I wouldn't trade him for Tim Anderson. No. The man's 24, and he's got much more growing to do. Yeah, I would not trade him at all. Let's look at the Dodgers' probable pitchers and the White Sox probable pitchers for Tuesday, Wednesday, And Thursday's game, we got Mitch White. I don't know who this guy is.
That's a fake name.
He has a 4.79 ERA. He'll be pitching for the Dodgers versus our guy, Michael Kopech. I like our guy much more.
Mitch White, that is an MVP baseball creative player name right there.
John O'Dowd. And then Tony Gosselin, who's doing well, 6-0 with a 1.59 ERA, will be toeing the rubber on Wednesday night for the Dodgers. And Johnny Cueto going for the White Sox, 0-2 with a 2.92 ERA. He's pitched 6 innings in all 4 of his starts, at least 6 innings in all 4 of his starts, and has given the White Sox a chance to win all 4 of those games. Tyler Anderson, 7-0 with a 2.59 ERA versus Dylan Cease, 4-2, 3.39. I mean, is it like every single time? I've never literally heard of Mitch White. He's not great.
No, I mean this one. I mean Tyler Anderson versus Dylan
exactly.
Cease. I don't know who Mitch White is. I think they called him up from the Savannah Bananas or something.
I don't know who Tyler Anderson is. Maybe I should know him. But like it seems like every time I look up, the Dodgers are getting some prospect that you never heard of, and they're doing well in the major leagues. Like, that's just the pitchers. The hitters are going to be really tough. If the White Sox can find a way to compete in these 3 games versus the Dodgers, that will be a good thing to see versus them, because they play in the toughest division in baseball right now in the NL West, where most of the teams are over 500, and they're just the Dodgers. Like, I don't know how the White Sox are going to get out of this series without getting one win. The Mitch White one is probably the best one because we have Michael Kopech going on the other side. What do you see about this series versus the Dodgers, even though Sean Anderson thinks they're weak?
The Flying Tomato?
Yes, the Flying Tomato.
It's the Flying Tomato versus the Swamp Angel, and now we've completely gone off the rails. But no, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, the Dodgers are the Dodgers for a reason, right? They have this unending stream of players that they can plug in at any turn, and they always get the job done. Mm-hmm. You know, every one of them can play 6 different positions on the position player side. When the pitchers come up, it doesn't matter which Cy Young candidate just got hurt for the Dodgers. They bring somebody up, and they got another person who's going to go ahead and get the job done. I mean, look at the guy that they signed to the massive contract, hasn't pitched basically at all for them, and they're still a World Series favorite. You know, I mean, seriously, it's an incredibly run organization from a talent standpoint, and they're able to do this on. Not just, I mean, they're able to do this on an annual basis. They're able to do this on a monthly basis. They're able to do this on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. This is the model for every team out there, and obviously they've got the money to spend and just an incredibly stacked farm system that they can just keep throwing these guys at them. So it's a tremendous team, and the White Sox are going to have their hands full, no doubt about it.
I forgot about that guy you're mentioning. They signed a guy who got in trouble off the field, and they did not blink.
At the time, they made him the highest paid pitcher by annual pay ever, right?
Yes.
Before Scherzer signed with the Mets, yeah.
Yes, and they're like, cool, fine. Yeah, we would want him to pitch for us if, he wasn't doing stuff off the field, but, we'll absorb that and just still keep on rolling. $4.99 super chat from Rusted. Mendick may not be the answer for the season, but he is the answer for right now. As in Berger, Engel has played outstanding in his role too. I was surprised that we didn't see more of Adam Engel today. He finally played yesterday after having 3 days off. Did play today in a defensive replacement position. I want to see him play a little bit more because I think what he brings to the table is really good. Like his hitting, his base stealing, his defense has always been spectacular. I think he should reward guys for doing well in their roles, and him getting only one start in this whole time, it's a little tough, even though they have a glut out there in the outfield. Yeah,
I mean, on one hand, you're right, but on the other hand, that's these guys doing their job. These guys were meant to be role players, right? And especially Adam Engel, but Danny Mendick and Jake Berger, when the season started, were fringe that they were even going to be on the roster. And they have stepped up and helped out, and they've been that fill-in guy. I don't think anybody's expecting them to be anything more than reserves right now. And obviously Mendick's being pressed into duty because of the injury to TA. Berger is coming through in the clutch and deserves some more at-bats, certainly. But those 3 guys, even if you don't see them all the time, the fact that they're producing when you see them, that's what they were supposed to do. That's what's been asked of them. And they're getting the job done. You've got guys who their job is to go out there every day and produce every day. They're not getting the job done. Your Grandals, your Moncadas right now. The more people that can do their job on this team, the better off they're going to be. applaud Engel, applaud Berger, applaud Mendick for doing their job, and let the other guys kind of come around here.
And if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us out is continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets for up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, including Vinnie Duber's great work here with the White Sox, or you can go to Adam Hogue's work with the Bears, Big Dave and Matt Peck and Will Gottlieb with the Bulls. All these guys there, and you guys know that you can get a free T-shirt. I don't have it on today, but you see that logo right there. If you're watching on YouTube, that Brawler Socks, that shirt I have at home. I wore it the other day. It is so beautiful. When you go out, people are going to ask you questions. Where'd you get that shirt from? Man, that's so unique. Please go out and support CHGO by supporting PointsBet. Let's see. CHGO membership unlocks the web content, and you'll even get a free T-shirt from a CHGO locker room. If you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now from your phone, all from start to finish on your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook, easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Vinnie, this week, the White Sox play the Dodgers, and then they play after that. Let's see, they go to the
Still at home.
Rangers. They play at home
Texas.
versus the Texas Rangers.
Oh, man, we forgot the Rangers. What a crime.
So we got some people coming home. You got your man Craig Kimbrell coming home for the Dodgers series, and you have just called up Steele Walker and Dane Dunning coming home for the Texas Rangers. What do you see?
Marcus Semien, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Former White Sox great Marcus Semien coming back, the struggling Texas Rangers. It's got 6 games versus those guys. I won't tell you to put out a record there, but how do you see this week shaking out for the White Sox after a strong weekend in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, as we've mentioned several times now, that Dodgers series is going to be tough. I think the White Sox probably be lucky to get a win out of that, and certainly they're not thinking that. They're thinking about 3 of them, of course, but Texas should be an opportunity to feast. A little bit. I think, Texas is not so great. I didn't think they were going to be all that great, and here they are not being all that great because, that's the Texas Ranger way, I guess.
Yes, and Steele Walker, Texas Ranger, will be back with the club. Stupid Donkey, you're my mans. $20 super chat. If you enjoy CHGO, then tip. That's what he says. Or if you're listening or watching right now on the YouTube, just hit the like button. I appreciate Stupid Donkey sending some money. Guy Connor sending some money to us. Jaxo23 sending some super chat money to us. Rusted sending money to us. Appreciate that all. You guys don't need to send money to us. Support us by going to allchgo.com and getting a membership, or go to PointsBet and putting down a $50 or more first-time deposit. You can do that, or just sit back, relax, and enjoy our content we have for you here. We would love for you to support us monetarily, but if you just want to watch us, I'm fine with that too. I'm sure our boss is like, no,
yeah.
No.
They're like, Herb, no. Herb, you got to bring up the tailgate too.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Oh, yes. If you guys want to talk to me live and in person, I don't know, who wouldn't? Vinnie Duber, even more, or Swamp Angel Sean Anderson. June 22nd is your chance. You can come up to us, say whatever you want to us. Don't say mean things though, because I'm kind of sensitive. 11:30 in the morning.
Maybe let Sean know what you think of the Fleetwood Mac album Tusk.
Oh yes, please let him know.
We know what he knows. We know what he thinks. Maybe you guys should share your opinion.
Sean's fronting about that. He hasn't heard that album. I literally listened to that album going back home because he suggested it. Trash. It is the worst album I've heard in a long time. And they spent a bunch of money on that. Well, firstly, I got to put a disclaimer. I don't like Fleetwood Mac too much. Mostly it's because my fiance loves it, and she keeps on saying that they're one of the great bands, and I don't like Stevie Nicks, blah, blah, blah. It's too much.
You're swinging too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
Guys, I am the Goldilocks of Fleetwood Mac. I think they're good. Tusk is not a good album.
Just right. So come out and say to us what you want. Say, Sean, Tusk sucks, and you should have picked Rumors. It's much better.
Of course you should have picked Rumors.
It's the official CHGO tailgate June 22nd. It is a Thursday afternoon game. Wednesday? Damn it, it's a Wednesday afternoon game. I'm wrong.
It's on June 22nd. You got that one
It's
right.
in
Just
Lot
confirmed
B.
it is Wednesday.
Go to allchgo.com right now. You can get all the information on how you buy the ticket, and then you can join us for the tailgate. And then we have a game ticket for you. You can enjoy the White Sox beating up Connor Pearson Ward's KPW's Blue Jays. So come out, $25. See me, see Vinnie, have some beers, maybe have some sausages, and then go and see the White Sox win that game. By that time, hopefully the White Sox will be over 500. Right now, they are 25-27. Oh, my goodness. And right before we leave, we saw that Aloy left the game, and I know you probably don't have the info because you weren't at the game, but anything to worry about leaving the game. He played the outfield. After 5 innings, they took him out of the game. I read it as nothing really to be worried about. He was just getting some rest. Did you read it as anything else down there in Charlotte?
Without hearing any details, I mean, I just know that today was the first day he's played the outfield, I believe, in a rehab game. He was just DHing prior to that. So that's what I'm thinking about right now, but we'll get some definite updates when we return to the South Side later this week.
And Vinny will be there on Tuesday, probably the State of the State from Rick Hahn. Usually after a road trip back coming home, he usually gives you a State of the State, so I'm sure Rick feels a little bit better after winning 2 out of 3 in Tampa, like I do. So for Vinnie Duber, you can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He is our CHGO White Sox beat reporter. That guy over there that you can't see, his name is Stephen Nicholas. He is our producer, usually every day. He's going to abandon us tomorrow because he doesn't love us. My name is Herb Lawrence. ActonWall23 is the way you can follow me on Twitter. So, thank you for joining us on this episode of CHGO White Sox postgame after a 6-5 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see you tomorrow for our mailbag show and people in the Discord. If you're a member and you're in the Discord, send us questions. We'll answer your questions in the show tomorrow, which starts at 12:30. See you then.